Hi, welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to be sharing with you some of my current favorite things, a little bit of homeschool and a little bit of mom stuff. So if you enjoy this type of content and other homeschool and lifestyle content, please remember to subscribe and let's get into it. Okay, I love watching favorites videos and I enjoy filming favorites videos. I have a really hard time making a list of favorites because I'm a pretty simple person. I don't change a whole lot most of the time, and so things stay the same. You know, I'm kind of basic or boring, I guess, I don't know. And so I have a hard time thinking of things, but I really enjoy watching favorites videos. So I did make a list of a few things. I have a few homeschool things and a few of things that I have been loving recently. And so that's what I'm gonna share with you today. And then hopefully I'll have another list soon. I already started a new one. So hopefully if I keep on top of it, I can remember some of my favorite things. But let's get into the homeschool things first. All right, there are a few of these items that are going to be a little maybe unconventional. Maybe not what most people share, but this is stuff that we use for homeschool, and so I thought I'd share it. The first thing, we'll start with the unconventional things first, I guess, since I already brought them up, are these little egg rings. And so I have a few kitchen items because a big part of our homeschool happens in the kitchen, whether it's breakfast or lunch or my kids making snacks or prepping food, you know, it happens in the kitchen. And so lately they've really been loving these. I just got them off of Amazon. I think it was a pack of 4, and you just my kids like to put butter on them. We have to tell them to calm down on the butter situation there. But you just put some butter, you could grease them with something, and then, you know, cook your egg in it, and then they can put it on a breakfast sandwich. And so we really like these, and I do really love the little handles. They just are really nice and smooth and easy to use for the most part. So that's one thing that has been a favorite recently. Another one has been this waffle maker. And this is just funny. Next week I do have a food video coming out, and so you guys will be able to see all that, like how we do food in our homeschool. So some of these things will be probably talked about a little bit more, but they have been favorites, so I'm sharing them today with you. But the waffle maker, we got this as a Christmas present. I did it as a like family gift or a gift for my kids. And we have one of just the huge, again, I don't know if it's a Belgian waffle maker, but it's just, you do one big one, you know, flip it, and has another big one. So you can make 2 at a time, but they take a really long time to make. So this one has the 4 on here. It might be hard to see. It's hard for me to tell in the camera because it's black. But then it also has these like spill things on the sides. And so if you put too much batter in it and it spills out the sides, it still like cooks it up a little bit, and it's so easy to get off. So it's not making a huge mess. Like, it's so easy to clean. Usually you just take out the little pieces that have cooked on the sides and then it's all done. So this is also from Amazon, and I got it in this cool green turquoise color because it was cheaper, and that's how I roll. It was cheaper than some of the other colors. So all things that I can link below, I will. So I really love that. Another thing that I did not bring in here to show you because it's kind of bigger is our air fryer. And we don't really have a special one. I just bought it, I think, from Sam's Club or Costco. And so it's not super, super fancy. And I was first inspired because my mom had one and she was doing like potatoes in it and getting them super, super crunchy. Like, you cut them into cubes when they're already basically cooked, and then they get really crunchy. And I was like, oh, these are delicious. And then I didn't use it for a really long time, but now we use it pretty frequently, like for chicken nuggets, which is something we did make in it. Like, I'll do homemade chicken nuggets, but I also buy some from the store because it's just an easy lunch for my kids. And so we really like it for that. And then we also do like French toast sticks. I'll get like the Bear chicken from Costco and cook that up. So we actually nowadays use it so many times a week. And I never thought we would use it. I know a lot of people use them a ton as well for other things and for other recipes. And basically in place of an oven, there's a lot of people that don't really use the oven too much. They use the air fryer. Again, ours isn't super fancy. If I can find one similar or just a few on Amazon, I'll link those down below. I don't really know what ones are good and what ones are not, but ours works well, so I'm not gonna go buy a super expensive one. And so I'm glad that I just got it from Costco. And then something else that we've been doing in our homeschool just maybe since the beginning of January was going through this manners book. Let me flip to the first page if I can find it. But this is from Brooke Romney, and so it's 52 Modern Manners for Kids. She has some for teenagers. She has 2 books. I actually have them as well, even though I don't have any teenagers yet. And she came out with those ones first, and so that there's 1 and then there's 2 for teens. I don't know if she's doing another one for kids or if this is the only one. But it's meant, you know, 52 for the year. You can go through them week by week. You could go through them faster if you wanted. But these ones are a little bit, I guess, simplified or more basic things for younger kids. So this is the one we were working on this week that says be a problem solver. It kind of goes through it a little bit, and then it has some questions that you could go through on the back together and discuss, like, if this happened, what would you do? And so that's where we are. There's like an ask before touching, you know, just some little things. Maybe there was one about interrupting and the importance of waiting, or, you know, saying excuse me and that kind of stuff. And so it's really just been a good tool. Usually on Mondays, I try to remember, usually on Mondays we'll go through it and just discuss it a little bit. And then throughout the week, as things come up, I can be like, oh, remember this? Like, this is what we're trying to work on this week. Or remember a few weeks ago, we talked about this. So I feel like it's been helpful in our homeschool to just have something that's helping us have a little bit better manners. And it's very simple. It only takes a few minutes. And then the last homeschool thing I was gonna mention, I have already filmed like a whole video on this. It was an unboxing. I'll try to remember to link it below, but it was on sensory bins. So I got these from Knowledge Crates, and they do like school bins that cover language arts, math, science, all that kind of stuff. And that's a quarterly subscription, but they also just have tons of sensory bins. And I really love these. So these little ones, these busy buckets, are really good for my toddler. And he doesn't know fully how to play with things, and he, you know, needs new activities every 2 seconds. So it doesn't last a super long time, but it has Play-Doh in it. It has kinetic sand, and then this like little foam, the sensory foam stuff. And then a few little toys to play with, depending on the theme. Like this one's transportation, so it has some little cars and boats in it. And then they also have these bigger sensory bins that you can buy. This one's on outer space. And so it has like this crazy little, this foam, I don't even know, it's like foamy stuff in it. I don't know if you can see that, but that's the part that you can play with. Some of them have rice. Some of them we've had beans and like lentils, all that kind of mixed together. And then it usually comes with some toys that you can play with. This is like glow in the dark outer space things, some cups, like a little rover type thing for on the moon. So there's a bunch of things in there they can play with. So these ones are better for my older kids, especially if they get done with their schoolwork and need something to do. I can have these out for them. And then, like I said, when we're trying to get schoolwork done, these ones have been good for my toddler, just to pull them out and it's all ready to go. And it gives him something to keep his hands busy at least for 30 seconds. All right, so now for a few mom things. So the first thing is these pens, and I don't know how to say this brand. It's T-U-L, Tull, I don't know. Anyways, I've had these for maybe since the end of last year, and I really like them. Someone for scripture studying had recommended them. If you have thicker like paper for scripture study, I wouldn't necessarily recommend them for thinner paper because they're a little bit more of a gel. But I really have been enjoying them. And if you've been around here, you know that I love like paper planners, I love journaling, all that type of stuff. And so I love pens. And when I can find good pens, I'm really happy. And this isn't even all the colors, because some of them I'm using and they're in all my like notebooks around the house and stuff like that. And so these ones are the needlepoint ones. I believe they have ones that have a little bit bigger end on them, and they might have more options. I'm not really sure, but I love really fine tipped pens. And so that's what I got. But I'll link, these ones I just got off of Amazon. If there's other options, I'll link those below as well. But I really like these. Again, I wouldn't necessarily recommend them for like thinner paper or like really scripture type paper. But if you're journaling, sorry, there's like stuff stuck on my hands from my kids doing crafts on this table. It's like glue or whatever. Anyway, and you have to give it a second to dry when you are writing on that type of paper. If you are writing on a little bit thinner paper or just anything really, it might take a second for it to dry. because it is a little bit more of a gel type pen, but I still really like them. Like I've tried a few different gel type pens, and these ones I like the best. I like the really skinny tip on them, and I also think they write really well. Some gel pens don't write well, or they don't write well consistently. Like over time, there's just always problems with them, but so far, like I love these. I have pink ones, purple ones. They're great. They're so, so great. So this is one thing. And then another thing is my cup here. I was like, oh yeah, I usually have it next to me anyway, so I don't even have to grab it. But this is this simple modern cup, and again from Amazon. And I know everybody was all about the Stanley cup. I never tried a Stanley cup. I had thought about it. I like a bigger straw, and so it was a lot of the other ones that had straws were skinnier and stuff, so I was like hesitant about that. And then I saw somebody, I can't even remember who it was, talking about different cups and like which ones kept things cold the longest and like sealed really well. And out of all the cups she tried, this one actually kept things colder longer than the Stanley cup. And the top of it, I actually think I prefer over the Stanley cup. I've never, like I've seen a few in person. I've never touched one before, but I haven't ever like really had one or used one. But I do like that this one seals up. It screws at the top, and there isn't, the only time if it falls at just the right way, I think if it's this way where the straw is a little bit closer, it will start to leak. But otherwise it doesn't leak at all, and my toddler knocks it over all the time. But I also love the big handle. I like how it again has a skinny bottom so that it can sit like in my car cup holders. And with the handle, it just makes it so much easier to grab. So the only thing that is weird a little bit to me, because I've always had cups that have like the little, like a flip top or something like that, so it's like protected, is having an exposed straw. Especially at home, it's not a big deal, but like when I'm out in public and stuff and I'm carrying around this cup, I'm like, man, this straw is just exposed to everything, and it kind of grosses me out. Not enough to stop using it or taking it in public, but it's still a little bit weird to me. But anyways, they have lots of colors. I guess tend to get this color. I have this color in a lot of things, so I don't know what it is about this color. Apparently I just like it. So that's what we're going with. And then the next thing is mixed tiles, which I showed those in, it was like a back to homeschool after a long break video. And so I'll insert some footage of them here, but I have loved them. They have been so great. They're magnets, like they're pictures with a magnet on the back, so they're a little bit more expensive, but they stay on the wall really well, and you can move them around so easily. Like you stick them up, and if you don't like it or they're not even, you can like just pull it off and stick it up again. And it's so nice. And they have a few different options for like frames, and then obviously for sizes and things like that. And they don't have glass in them, which actually I really like, because especially depending on where you have pictures in your house and the sun's coming in, the glares can just be so, so bad. And I love, there's a spot where I put them in our kitchen that would gets a lot of sun. And with some, I had hung up some normal pictures to try it out with like normal frames with glass, and I didn't like them. And a big part of it was because of the glare. Like the glare just made it so you couldn't even see the pictures, or you know, it was just reflecting the sun all over the place, and I didn't like it. So I really have liked our mixed tiles. Still, it's been what, 2.5 months? I don't even know, 3 months basically. And I really have enjoyed having them on the wall. Okay, I have one last thing to like show you here, and then a few things just to talk about. And the thing I want to show you is this perfume. I don't know if I've shared this before. I can't remember, but it's from Dime Beauty, and this one's Core Memory, and I love this. And it's this clean perfume too. You know, I don't wear perfume constantly. Like, I usually just wear it when I actually like get ready for the day. When I'm just home, I don't always, unless I just want to smell a little bit good. Because smell is very important to me. It's something that is, I just really like things to smell good. And so I saw Angela Braniff talking about these perfumes, and they have like the little test, what are they called? Sample sizes. And so I got some of those, and they had one for this. I think it wasn't included. It's a newer scent. And so it wasn't included in like the 5-pack or whatever, but they still had it as a sample size. I'm not sure what it is now, because this was like last summer maybe. And I got it and tried several of them. And this one I love by far. I'm not even gonna try to explain what it smells like. But it's just a very clean, fresh scent. I don't know if they don't last super long, I would say, on the skin, but if they're on your clothes or even on my watch, because sometimes I'll spray it on my wrist and it gets on my watch, and so then I'll have my arm up to my face doing something and I can smell it. Like, it just lingers, and I haven't sprayed it for days. It will linger on like my watch and stuff better than it does on my skin. But I do like that it's a clean brand, and I actually did just order 2 other perfumes, scents is the word I'm looking for. Perfumes, scents from them. And as you can tell, I don't like talk about this kind of stuff very often, beauty stuff, because I just don't even know how. But I ordered 2 other ones from them, and so I'm excited for those to get here. One of them is a more musky scent, which I really like musky scents. Those are some of my favorites. And so this one I think is supposed to be a little bit more citrusy kind of a smell. But anyway, I love the perfume, and I do love that it's clean. It doesn't make me feel so bad about like spraying it and stuff. And a lot of times they'll have different sales, or if you follow different people on Instagram, they usually have codes as well. And so then I end up being able to get it for a little bit cheaper. It's hard because perfumes don't always, they're always the thing excluded from the sale, which is annoying. And so that's why you just have to watch or follow them for exclusive sales on the perfumes. Okay, the last 2 things I wanted to mention deal a little bit more with like health and fitness. So the first one is macro-friendly foods, and that's by Elise Ellis, if you have seen her on Instagram or anything. And it's her, like, she has a website, and the app is part of the website, and I think it's about $10 a month. I think I do mine for 3 months, and it's close to 30-ish or something for 3 months. And it just gives you access to all these macro-friendly recipes that are a little bit, I guess, more realistic, especially for a family. Like, she's taken foods that you wouldn't think, like different types of lasagnas or pizzas and things like that, and redone them so that their macros are really, really good. And there's ways to filter if you need more protein or less protein or more fat and things like that. So you can, if you are counting macros, you can look at those things specifically. If not, you can just know that you're eating slightly healthier food, right? That the macros, everything's a little bit more balanced, and it can make you feel good about it. And again, my kids will eat most of the stuff too. It's not anything super crazy, or we're just constantly eating tons of vegetables, which I do like. I'm more of a like salad type of a person, or just eating fruits and vegetables fresh. Like in the summer, that's what I prefer to do. But if you have kids that maybe aren't exactly like that, these are still really healthy meals. And the video that is coming out next week, I'm gonna have a few of the examples of the food in there that I like. And it's not a meal, it's not the meals, it's the snacks. So it's the protein muffins, like the pumpkin protein muffins is something we make a lot, and the monster bites is what I think they're called. They're like little protein bites that I will just keep in the freezer, and my kids can eat them, or we can, my husband. It's like, it's a protein loaded snack instead of just whatever, and when I keep them on hand, that's what we eat instead of grabbing something that maybe isn't as good, like goldfish. Not that that's not what I would grab. Probably chocolate, but anyways, the Monster Bites and the pumpkin protein muffins are some of my favorite like snacks from her to keep on hand. The last quick like fitness thing I have been enjoying is MyFitnessPal. It's an app that helps you track your macros, and it's been really nice. I don't know what the non-paying version looks like, because I've just had the premium one. I know that there's certain things that aren't available on that one, but you can still use it. But it's so nice. So like macro-friendly foods, and a lot of other people that have some sort of meal plan or subscription will put their stuff into this MyFitnessPal. And so when you use their food, you can just type it in to the search bar, and then it will bring it up. It already has a serving size. Everything's already there for you. So you don't have to do all the work and be like, okay, let me go through all these things, and what's this one? What's this food? What's this food? Which can, if you don't want to do that, and it takes a lot of time. And so if you're cooking from macro-friendly foods or from other meal subscriptions, I think most of them are macro-friendly. I don't know. Like, not macro friendly from Elise Ellis, but just a lot of the ones I know about are about counting macros. And so those ones are all in MyFitnessPal as well. And so you can put those in, but you also can just enter stuff as you eat it, or they have a little barcode like scanner as well. So you can, if you have a certain type of food that isn't just completely from scratch or whatever, you can scan the barcode and it can put everything in and you can know. And so it's really been helpful for me to just even see what I'm eating and where, you know, just to know what you're eating, I think is good, because sometimes we just don't realize how many carbs are in our food or how much fat, or are we getting enough protein, because sometimes we think we are and maybe we're just not even close, you know. So it just really helps with those things. And Elise Ellis on her website, the macro friendly food one, has a free macro calculator. And so if you want to go in and just get an idea of where you would be, you can go and use that for free on her website and figure that out, because then you can put that into MyFitnessPal and know where you're even supposed to be. So those are a few of the things that have been helpful for me lately. A lot of the recipes I cook are for macro-friendly food. And then I use MyFitnessPal to kind of track what I'm eating and see how well I'm doing. So they've been very, very helpful in me keeping track of my health and my food. All right, so those are my current favorites. I hope you enjoyed this video. Put down in the comments below maybe some things you're loving currently. I'd love to hear from you and see what you like. And remember to give this video a thumbs up, and I will see you next time.